Developed and published by Mob Entertainment, Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 continues the hit indie horror series, launching in January of 2025 on PC and August on consoles. Known for its mascot horror aesthetic and mix of puzzle solving with hide-and-seek tension, the fourth installment aims to push the story forward with new environments, mechanics, and characters. But after the successful Chapter 3, expectations were high, not just for frights, but for a sense of narrative and gameplay cohesion. Unfortunately, this chapter misfires more than it mesmerizes, offering a louder but less impactful experience.
Dolly the Dollman!
He stretch you, he scale you, he squish you, he's fun you. D-O-E-Y. He's silly, he's goo you, he's sticky, he's glue you. D-O-E-Y.
Look at all the colors!
So many toys and one. Triple time the friend and triple time the fun. D-O-E-Y. Love it till the day that you die.
Chapter 4 picks up immediately after the events of Chapter 3. You and Poppy are riding an elevator downward while Kissy Missy remains above in distress. Before long, Poppy goes back up, leaving you alone to discover a sprawling underground prison. When you attempt to power up a train, you're quickly abducted by the new antagonist, the Doctor. What follows is an escape and team-up narrative, as you and a handful of both familiar and new allies, including Doughy the Doughman, try to bring down the Doctor and save others trapped within the depths. Compared to previous chapters, this one is more aggressive. You're on the offense instead of reacting to threats, but the payoff is muddled. Characters are introduced with flair, but rarely used meaningfully, and the story feels bloated with half-baked ideas. While the narrative is technically more active, it lacks emotional resonance or structure. Yarnaby, Pianosaurus, and the Nightmare Critters are introduced with promise, but most are sidelined or forgotten entirely. Gameplay remains consistent with prior chapters. You use color-coded grab pack hands to solve environmental puzzles, platform, and escape threats. All hands are now available, including the purple hand that lets you leap to higher ground. Rerouting electricity and tearing obstacles out of the way feel tactile and satisfying, offering some of the best moment-to-moment interaction in the series. However, the game frequently falls into the trap of excessive backtracking, vague objectives, and oddly spaced difficulty spikes. Pacing is one of the biggest issues here. Sections overstay their welcome, puzzles feel padded out, and chase sneak moments lack the terror that once defined the series. The horror elements have softened considerably, replaced with repetition and noise rather than dread. On a technical level, the environments are more richly detailed than ever before. The prison setting is massive and layered with background elements that add a sense of scale, but that ambition isn't matched by design. Despite how vast it looks, the world feels oddly linear and sterile. Exploration is unrewarding. There are few secrets or off-the-beaten-path discoveries, and the ones that do exist are often tied to shallow achievement hunts. It's a visually rich world that somehow still feels empty.
Hiya there, pal. Don't worry, I won't eat you. I'm Doughy. I was told to expect you.
Sound design remains strong in certain areas. Menus feel crisp, and the simple audio feedback when picking up notes is satisfying and polished. But elsewhere, things falter. VHS tapes remain overly long and are presented poorly. Static-filled screens with no visual storytelling, and long-winded voiceovers that rarely get to the point. Instead of building intrigue, they test patience. Graphically, there's a visible upgrade in fidelity, but characters like Yarnaby and Doughy are jarringly textured, almost amateurish in their modeling, breaking immersion when they're on screen. It's an odd step back considering how strong the visual direction has been in past chapters. There's a growing sense of fatigue in how Poppy Playtime handles its world building. The formula of discovering increasingly absurd underground facilities filled with forgotten science and broken mascots is beginning to lose its punch. The prison, while conceptually different, feels like just another layer in an endless stack of secret bunkers. The series' once creepy charm is now overshadowed by overexposure and narrative exhaustion. Adding to that, objectives are often poorly conveyed, with little to no environmental direction, leaving players confused and frustrated. When the game isn't guiding you too much, it's not guiding you at all. Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 is a bigger chapter in scope, but not in heart. It struggles with focus, pacing, and innovation. While the gameplay remains mechanically sound and the story attempts to grow bolder, execution is lacking across the board. Characters feel underdeveloped, horror elements are toned down, and new ideas are introduced only to be abandoned. It's a chapter that tries to do more but says less. The once compelling mystery has become a convoluted mess of underutilized concepts and shallow scares. This installment is difficult to recommend. If you're deeply invested in the Poppy Playtime lore, it might be worth a watch. But for most, Chapter 4 is best experienced through someone else's playthrough. It's not broken, but it's bloated, and it marks a clear downturn in a series that once felt fresh and frightening.
Just let her in.
That's how I do it. For now, go to Doe.
I give Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 a 4.5 out of 10.